What is going down, Sourdough Squad? How are we doing today? I'm sure some of you are noticing you might have a little wrench next to your name. If that is the case, and you do have the little wrench next to your name, that means you are now indebted with the greatest responsibility in the entire world to keep the chat vibes immaculate. So we finally got some mods. I finally figured it out. So shout out the squad. I just went through and put it on a couple people that have been rocking with the channel for quite some time. So if you are seeing that, you know the dang vibes, and that means we are relying on you. We are relying on you to keep the vibes on point for the Sourdough Squad. So we appreciate you guys. We see the SDSs in the chat. Drop those SDSs if you're vibing with your boy. What's good, everybody? Lots of stuff to talk about. It's off season. Man, it's just getting started, man. Off season's just getting started. The smoke is already billowing out of the San Francisco 49ers headquarters. We got all kinds of stuff. Debo, Kittle, Lakin, Juicer at the Pro Bowl. Gotta love it. Shout out the squad. Shout out the mod gang. You guys are the mod gang now. So you know the vibes. We keep the chat immaculate. We keep the chat vibes immaculate. The beard is currently loading the red color. Facts. All right. So one of the things that we are going to talk about today is we are going to talk Jimmy Garoppolo trade because there has been some reports that have come out as of yesterday. And let's get into some of those reports. Per Matt Lombardo of Fansided, according to his contacts, his sources, there are three teams that could potentially be after Jimmy Garoppolo. You saw it on the graphic if you clicked on this video, but you know the vibes. There are three potential teams being reported for the San Francisco 49ers to be potential trade interests for Jimmy Garoppolo. And let's start with the first three. We'll start with these first three, and then we will open it up for potentially other avenues, potentially other teams that can throw their hat into the mix. So let's start with these three, and let's start with a poll from the chat. Let's see what the chat is feeling like. Out of these three teams, you got Steelers, Big Ben retired. With the Broncos, you currently have Drew Lock, who is there. I believe it was either a second or third round pick that they invested in him a couple years ago. Still a young quarterback. That was his second year. Teddy Bridgewater is on the roster, but it does feel like Teddy Bridgewater won't be coming back to the Broncos. So we're going to find out. But like I said, they do have a young quarterback there that maybe they do believe in, might need a little bit more seasoning. But then you also got the mighty Bucks. The Bucks with, of course, as we know, no Tom Brady anymore. Tom Brady is not there, which means there's an opening. They also have a young rookie, Kyle Trask, out of Florida, who has been backing up. I believe Blaine Gabbert's still over there as well. 49er fans know Blaine Gabbert very well. Very, very well. So these are the three teams that Matt Lombardo from Fansided is being told from league sources that could absolutely be in the mix to pursue Jimmy Garoppolo. I think some of the key things that we're going to be looking at before he gets traded is the surgery. Crown says Steelers is the spot for him. Erica says Bucks, thinks that's a good spot. George is saying Bucks too. He's going to the Bucks. Julian says Bucks. Mark says Steelers. Roman Steelers. So there's a lot of things that still need to fall in place. I think when we're looking at player movement and we're seeing all that kind of stuff, um, I think the first thing that we really need to be cognizant of is watching the coaching carousel. Watching the coaching carousel because there are still open positions. The Texans, right? Nick Casario. Nick Casario drafted Jimmy Garoppolo when Nick Casario was running the front office for the Patriots. So there's a natural connection there. But with the Texans, they also have a young rookie quarterback uh, who in Davis Mills, who's proven to be a decent quarterback. So there's a lot of options, and we'll get into all of them. But again, let's start with these three. It does feel like if we are going solely off the chat does feel like it's either Steelers or Bucks. I don't see a lot of Broncos in here. It does look like it's leaning Bucks or Steelers. So let's break these three down, and then we're going to open it up for other potential scenarios. Um, if you're in here, smash that like button. You know the vibes. Smash that like button. Let's get this thing juiced up. Let's get as many people in here as we can. Um, yes, and Mike Tomlin is absolutely at the Senior Bowl looking for his quarterback. Based on what I've watched of Senior Bowl, Malik, um, why am I blanking on his last name? Malik from Liberty. He looks like hands down the best quarterback on the field. Arguably, probably, maybe even only the potential round one quarterback at the Senior Bowl. It's Malik Willis, right? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Thank you in the chat. Sorry, brain fart. Malik Willis out of Liberty. He's a fantastic quarterback. He's a guy who has been training closely and in the same circle as Trey Lance. For what it's worth, they have the same quarterback trainers, same quarterback coaches in the offseason. I know they've worked out together many times when Trey was going through the pre-draft process and Malik was along for the ride doing his workouts as well. So I know there's a connection there. And he's coached by Quincy Avery and guys like that. So the Steelers could be going after Malik, but after that, Sam Howell, even Desmond Ridder. I like Desmond Ridder a lot, but he also looks like a developmental guy to me. I think Desmond Ridder could be a guy in this league, but I think he'll need some seasoning as well. Need some time. Maybe a bridge quarterback sitting behind a guy a year or two would be beneficial for Desmond. So that still leaves the Steelers needing a quarterback. I don't think Mason Rudolph's the guy. And I would imagine that you guys would feel the same, that I don't think Mason, good old Mason, is the guy. I think Mike Tomlin would be very depressed going into next season with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. He showed promise at times, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Dylan says, "Yo, does anyone know when a trade can get done, like the earliest?" I mean, he can technically, I believe players can be on the move as of right now, as long as they're under contract. But again, I think one of the parameters that we have to watch out for in regards to Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded is the surgery. So based on the timeline from Ian Rappaport, they're calling it 4 to 6 weeks of recovery time. Then they're probably going to want to go through workouts. They're going to want to make sure the thumb's okay. Then I would imagine the trade would happen. So I'm going to say before the draft, maybe before free agency. is probably going to be the goal. Get a deal done before free agency, before we get additional movement and player movement. But like I said, there's still a fine line. Got to get the coaches positions filled. Dolphins need a coach. Texans need a coach. There's plenty of teams out there still looking for their head coach. And who knows? Hey, Mike McDaniel's heading down to the Dolphins potentially. Maybe he brings good old Jim with him. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But to answer Dylan's question, I think it is going to hinge on the recovery of his surgery, and then coaching hires, and then things will start to fall in place. But I would imagine around free agency period, maybe after free agency, but definitely before the draft, there's gonna be a move. There's absolutely gonna be a move. Brad, how long would a contract be that would benefit Jimmy and the team that picks him up? That's a good question because that's something to think about. Jimmy Garoppolo's currently has 1 year left on his deal. He's holding about approximately a $24 million cap hit. A team would have to take that on, but also something that you would consider is basically like a sign and trade kind of a situation where he's traded and they rework the deal. Maybe take that 1 year deal remaining on his contract, break it up, basically tear it up, and re-sign him to a 3 year deal. We'll see, but I would say 2 to 3 is going to be the sweet spot for Jimmy in regards to kind of redoing his deal, because I don't know if he's going to want to play. I mean, on a 1 year contract, he probably wouldn't mind getting that 24 million. But I don't know if another team wants to pay him exactly that. So that's going to be a part of the process. We see that happen a lot with trades, as they will be able to negotiate contract extensions, contract revisions to facilitate the trade. So that will be something that we monitor. Justin E says Jimmy to the Broncos just to see him beat the Raiders twice a year. That would be amazing. I love that. Niners by Nature says Jimmy to the Steelers. They have a run game, defense, and Jimmy proved he can beat the Bengals. I like that. No, and now let's get into it. Out of these three teams, I really think the Steelers are the best fit. I think the Steelers there's also a familiarity kind of with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is, pretty closely tied to Kyle Shanahan and that entire coaching tree. He's in with all those guys. So even though he's a defensive guy, he's in with all the Shanahan tree, the Fleurs, the McVays, the Raheem Morrises. He knows all those guys. That's part of his crew. So Mike Tomlin will have all the insight in the world to Jimmy Garoppolo, like I said, with the network that he has. I think the best fit for Jimmy is the Steelers. I don't know if Jimmy, or I'm sorry, I think the best fit for Jimmy the best fit for Jimmy is the Steelers, but I don't know if the best fit for the Steelers is Jimmy, if that makes sense. If that makes sense at all. I think Jimmy could absolutely go to the Steelers based on what Niner by Nature is saying, and be able to, take advantage of Najee Harris. They do kind of have a young, inexperienced offensive line. I don't know. All right, I got you. Trade Kittle. We're back at it. We're staying on the brand. We're staying on the brand. We're staying on the brand. But looking at it, I think Jimmy can be acclimated to cold weather. You have Najee Harris. You have a solid run game. You have some solid weapons. So I think for Jimmy it makes sense, but we'll see if that makes sense for the Steelers. But I think one of the things that is, I think, really underrated, which Jimmy had shown this year, is that if you do, if you do, Niners, you are not banned. What are you talking about? You were just on the screen. What are you talking about, my guy? We're just banning people who say trade George Kittle. That's just part of our thing. That's it. You're safe, Niners. You're safe. You're safe here. We welcome you here. Don't go anywhere. Um, but I think it would be a good fit. I think it would be a good fit for Jimmy. But like I was saying, if the 49ers, or I'm sorry, the Steelers wanted to still draft a quarterback, like let's say they drafted Desmond Ritter in the second. Um, let's say they drafted Desmond Ritter in the second, then potentially a guy like Garoppolo could be a great bridge quarterback, because again, we saw how he helped bring on Trey Lance, and that could be of benefit to another team that maybe needs a 1-year spot starter, potentially 2-year spot starter, then have a guy that's young to be able to uh, essentially groom him. So that could be something. But I think that's also another reason why the Denver Broncos could be a good fit for Jimmy Garoppolo, because let's say they do like Drew Lock, right? Let's say they do like Drew Lock, but they also understand Drew Lock isn't ready. You could trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Broncos. We understand the Broncos front office and the 49ers front office are very closely tied. Very closely tied. Before, John Lynch became the GM, he was sitting on John Elway's drafts. Um, the Broncos essentially gifted us Adam Peters from their front office and now he's running ours. Um, so there's a great relationship there with the Broncos. We make trades with the Broncos all the time. Um, we we also traded this year with the Broncos, if you don't remember. 49ers sent linebacker Jonas Griffith over there, which I was really bummed about at the time. And Jonas turned out to be a really good player, man. He turned out to be a really good player for the Broncos, one of their highest graded players. Um, he was one of the highest graded players for their team. It's a trade that I did not want to see happen. But hey, it is what it is. Trades happen all the time. So essentially, I could see Denver being a landing spot, especially if they do want to keep Drew Lock and quietly develop Drew Lock behind the scenes. So I see that as a potential win-win for both sides. Um, but again, we'll see. With the Bucks, with the Bucks, I actually see this not as a likely spot for Jimmy. And the reason why I say that is because of the coach in which they have. Bruce Arians, he wants to air that thing out. He wants to throw the ball downfield. And I think we've at least what we've understand and come to know from Jimmy Garoppolo in Kyle Shanahan's scheme, he doesn't like to push the ball downfield. He will, but it almost feels a bit like he's reluctant to go downfield. He will. He's not incapable. I felt like as the season progressed, actually, that we started to see Jimmy throw more outside the numbers, um, push the ball a little bit more. Um, but but I think he's going to want someone with a little bit more of a live arm, but they also have a rookie. They have Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask has, I think the intangible live arm. Um, but he's a raw prospect. If you guys remember Kyle Trask coming out of Florida, um, he was up for the Heisman. He was putting up good numbers at Florida, but it's going to be something that we continue to monitor. Ooh, someone in the chat. So those are those three. That's my thoughts on those three. I would say personally, out of these three, if I had to pick a landing spot, I'm probably going to say that Denver makes the most sense while looking at the 49ers options, the Denver Broncos options, because again, Denver has just been having a hell of a time. They're still trying to replace Peyton Manning. They're still trying to replace Peyton Manning, and we've seen them build up their defense. They have a strong defense. They have a strong defense, and we've seen what Jimmy Garoppolo can do. He can bring winning football and a winning formula to a team that has a strong defense, play complementary football. They have fantastic running backs, Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, a 1-2 punch that is probably one of the toughest duos of running backs in the NFL. I think there's no running back in the NFL that broke more tackles than Javonte. And he was a rookie. So I really do think the Broncos actually fit what, you know, they're kind of set up. They're kind of an almost like a mirror, if you will, of the 49ers. So I could see that being a fit. I could absolutely see that being a fit. Out of those three, I would say least likely out of those three would be the Bucks. I just don't see him playing for the Bucks, especially following up Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I just don't really see it. I don't really see it. But let's ask this question to the chat. Let's ask this question to the chat. What trade compensation would the 49ers receive in return for Jimmy Garoppolo? I want to see what you guys think. What as we sit right now, understanding he's got to make it through offseason surgery. He is, I believe, 30 years old. His cap number off the top of my head is approximately in the ballpark of 24 million. Something that I could do a double check on, but that's the ballpark right now. And be realistic, guys. What are we thinking draft compensation wise? What are we thinking draft compensation wise? I see a second. Niners saying first round pick. I think that's Niner by nature what he wants. Ellis says second round. Roman says second round. Second round pick from Darth. Brunil says at least a second round. Michael second. Jesus says second. Vlad says second. A second and a fourth. I kind of like that. Boo says if we're lucky, a third. Top 50 pick. I could live with a top 50 pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Schmerda says first or second and a fifth, third and a fifth. My God, Niner by nature wants that first rounder. Second rounder and something. So I think we're right around that range of second, third. I wouldn't mind, okay, he's switching it up late first round pick. Rosio says second or third round. I'm kind of feeling like something like this that like Ellis is showing. Like if we could just get a baseline, maybe top 60, top 65 pick in the second round range for Jimmy Garoppolo, plus maybe a future future pick with an incentivizer. Like, hey, if Jimmy Garoppolo plays all 16 games, the fifth goes to a fourth, one of those types of deals. I think that could be in the range. But in regards to trade compensation, I either like a second and a player, second and an additional pick. I think you can get him for at least a second plus some. Uh, Second round and a pick from our guy holding it down on Twitch. We see you. Jason says fourth, no fan base wants him. I actually disagree with that. I don't think the 49ers fan base wants him. I don't think, and I know, especially if you ask a Patriots fan, the perception of Jimmy Garoppolo is so much different outside this fan base. Now I get it, you know, especially teams that play us and they've seen the situation, they kind of understand. But there's teams like the Patriots where their fan base loves Jimmy. Like they love Jimmy. They wanted Jimmy before Mac Jones came along. Like they wanted him back. Um and I think it was something that they were close to doing. They were trying like the whole Cam Newton thing. I really think Bill was trying to get Jimmy back onto the Patriots. But of course, we know how it played out. Mac Jones ended up sliding right into their lap at 15, and that killed any potential return or trade back to New England, where he would have been welcomed with open arms. Would have been welcomed with open arms. So it's going to be interesting to see, what he fetches. But it does feel like I think second round is fair. I feel like second round. Luke Luna says second round conditional. If he plays 80% of the snaps, it increases. We get an extra pick. Yeah, I like that. I like something like that. I like, I would be more than happy to see the 49ers build an incentivizer into the deal to ensure we can get a deal done that is worth the value, but also to allows for it to gain more value if he does play and plays well. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So, based on the chat, looks like the chat is talking about second round, potentially second plus an additional. It feels like the second round is kind of the starting point, and then we figure out if that's second and a player, second and a conditional pick, or the second is a conditional pick. There's multiple ways that we can go about this from a trade compensation standpoint. But I think based on our polling of the chat, does feel like we're sitting around that second plus maybe an additional. If we can. That would be nice. DeMarco Patterson says, what about the Aaron Rodgers to Broncos rumors? I mean, if we're looking at best fit for the Broncos, the best fit for the Broncos is Aaron Rodgers. Because not only do you get Aaron Rodgers, they just hired, the former OC for the Packers. I think it was Nathaniel Hackett, right? And if you've heard any of the players talk about Hackett from the Packers, they love the guy. They love the guy, and he's an offensive mind, from my understanding. So I actually think the best fit for Aaron Rodgers is with the Broncos. And then hey James, I got you, my boy. I got you. Don't be mad. I got you. I just missed you. I got you though. Don't be sad. I got you. But I think if we're talking best fit for Broncos, the best fit for Broncos is Aaron Rodgers. The best fit for he said too late now. My guy's hurting. I didn't do it on purpose. I love you. I think the best fit is for the Broncos, for Aaron Rodgers, with the coach. And then you could have a situation where Devontae Adams follows. Then you have Cortland Sutton. Then you have, what's his name, Jerry Jeudy. They just gave a pretty big deal to Tim Patrick former 49ers legend. So they have receivers, and then they could essentially take Judy, flip Judy, add Aaron, add Devontae. Then all of a sudden the Broncos are instant Super Bowl candidates. Or, clearly they play in a very difficult division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. But I knew some people would get mad about the mod thing. I knew if I missed someone would get upset. But essentially, like I said, I think the Broncos, Aaron Rodgers are the best fit together. So that might mean that Jimmy Garoppolo is out in that instance. So let's look at some other teams. What other teams available out there do you guys think could be a fit? I want to see what the chat has to say. What does the chat have to say? What are some other teams that you guys are thinking of? Ooh, that's a good one. This is a good one from Dylan. I like that a lot. I think the Saints could be a really nice fit. Obviously, they're an NFC team. We're going to find out if the 49ers care about trading to a former NFC or they just want to get Jimmy out, put him in the AFC. It's going to be interesting. But at the very least, the Saints aren't in our division. They're just in our conference. So we'll see about that. I like the Saints. I think the Saints are a good fit. Taysom Hill is not the answer. But again, they're kind of in a bit of a cap hell. So that is going to be something to see how they can facilitate that potentially. I think before too that we really while we're going down the rabbit hole of throwing out hypotheticals, throwing out potential fits, Jimmy Garoppolo still has that no trade clause in his contract. So I think one of the better fits for Jimmy Garoppolo is the Washington Commanders, not the foot. I can't believe that I live in a world. This is big time squirrel. I can't believe that I live in a world where I actually feel that the football team is a better name than the Commanders. It's wild. It's wild. I can't believe I seen them post it yesterday or whatever, and I was like, the Commanders. It just feels like a high school team in a fictional Disney movie. The Commanders. I don't know. I wasn't, and now everyone's calling them the Washington Commies. I didn't like it. And I can't I'm saying, I can't believe I live in a world where I like the football team better. And I thought the football team was the biggest joke to ever grace the NFL. And so I'm trying to rationalize it in my own head. Man, when me and my son play Madden and we're looking at the teams and it just says football team, he's like, their name's a football team. He's 9 years old. He's like, that's a terrible name. But it's I feel like the Commanders is worse. I don't know, man. And just like Josh is saying, the football team grew on me. It just grew on me too. I thought it was awful, but it grew on me. And now you see Commanders and you're like, oh man, it's not good. So back to the point, I don't think I think it would be a great fit for the 49ers. It'd be a great fit for the Redskins because although I like Taylor Heineke, I actually would probably still say that Jimmy's probably better than Taylor Heineke at this point. At least the intangibles that he brings as a leader, as someone who's been a starter, and been able to command a locker room clearly. I think that's going to be an important factor. But I don't think Jimmy wants to go to the I don't think Jimmy wants to go to the Commanders. Like they're a poverty franchise. Like they are a poverty franchise. Their owner should be barred from being able to own the team. I can't believe it. He still does. Um, they're just a terrible franchise. Like they're worse than the Raiders. They got to be bottom barrel. They got to be bottom of the barrel in the NFL. Worst run franchises in the NFL. Trent Williams has perfect experience dealing with them. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, Trent's like, Jimmy, do not, do not go to the commies. Do not do it. That's career suicide. So I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo waiving a no trade to go to the Washington commies. I don't really see it happening. But like I said, it would be a good fit for Washington, I think. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. They have some good talent, decent offensive line, good talent on defense. I like their coach. I like Ron Rivera a lot, but their organization is just god awful. Just god awful. And I would not wish on my worst enemy to be drafted by Washington. Like they just seem like I like the coach. I have tons of respect for Ron Rivera. Um, I don't. The owner is terrible, just terrible. Jimmy J, not Jimmy G. Jimmy J says, "Yeah, no more trade clauses as of the start of the new league year. They can agree in principle on a deal now." Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that, so that's good to know. Again, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I'm not Mr. Contract. Um, you know, I try to be dangerous, but I definitely like breaking down football more than breaking down contracts. So I'm open to additional information if I am missing something, like Jimmy J provided. So appreciate that, Jimmy J. But hey, Dolphins maybe, especially if Mike McDaniels goes over, maybe gets hired again. Maybe it doesn't feel like the Dolphins at all believe in Tua Tagovailoa. Like it doesn't feel like they want to move forward at all. Ooh, I didn't think about that, Kyle. I don't know why I haven't even thought about that, but that actually, that's interesting. Well, I'm gonna pull your comment up here in a second. Kai Sid says, "Hey Brad, how long do you think it will take for us to trade Jimmy? And what free agent corners do you like at the moment?" Um, I think the biggest thing with Jimmy and the timeline, I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I think the biggest thing with the timeline is recovery of the injury of the surgery on his thumb. I think teams will want to kind of see that cleared up a little bit first before being definitive with, hey, we're going to trade for you, compensation plus new contract. I would imagine they're going to want the physical aspect of it to be cleaned up. So my gut, I don't know, but my gut is telling me probably when they have a better idea of the recovery of his injury. But when it comes to free agent corners, I like this conversation. When it comes to the free agent cornerbacks, um, I think Bryce Callahan, like if I believe he's a free agent, Denver Bronco, hey, you guys want to make a trade? Bryce Callahan, Jimmy Garoppolo, hey, maybe give us like Bryce Callahan and a fifth for Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll take that. Give me Bryce Callahan. Give me a fifth round pick, maybe a fourth round pick. We'll give you a quarterback. Maybe Bryce Callahan and a third. I don't know. I don't know how they value Bryce Callahan, but I think he's proven for the Denver Broncos to be a pretty stout cornerback. But another guy, Carlton Davis. I would look at Carlton Davis, Tampa Bay Bucks. He's a free agent. Clearly the hottest name on the market, and you already see it in the chat, JC Jackson, New England Patriot. Um, he is going to be a guy that is going to be heavily sought after. So that is going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch. Um, but I do believe Stephon Gilmore is a free agent. He is 31. He probably would require a decent amount of money, but hey, I don't know if he wants to return to the Panthers, especially amidst kind of the tumultuous front office coaching carousel, no quarterback situation, the Sam Darnold failure, Cam Newton failure. So he could be potentially actually wanting to move on. Maybe it's Stephon Gilmore. Um, you got some older guys. Uh, Actually, I didn't even know Bryce Callahan was 30. Bryce Callahan's 30. Chris Harris is 32. Kyle Fuller is someone that I like. I wouldn't mind Kyle Fuller, but he is kind of pricey, so that would be something to monitor. Um, we bringing back a kilo? No, but I would say probably the best one for us to go after probably be JC Jackson. He's 26 years old. Um, Obviously has the production behind him. But there's going to be some lower level guys, maybe like a Sidney Jones. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Uh, there's not a ton of like young talent out there, so we'll see. There's a lot of older veterans. Uh, so we'll see what happens. A good question. That was a good question. Um, all right, but something that I didn't think about was could Green Bay now again NFC rivals? Uh, Clearly we'll find a way to play them in the playoffs a lot of the times. Um, so, but scheme familiarity. Matt LaFleur, Jimmy would be able to step in. He would be able to run the scheme. He would be able to do it all. From a scheme standpoint, scheme familiarity, clearly he can play somewhat decent in cold weather. I mean, the 49ers did go into Green Bay and beat Aaron Rodgers and end Aaron Rodgers' tenure with Green Bay. Maybe Green Bay Packers fans wouldn't feel so bad because they had to experience Jimmy Garoppolo, even though the 49ers won hugely due to the defense and special teams. Maybe that is a thought. I didn't really think about that, but interesting thought process because Green Bay is going to need a quarterback. Green Bay is going to need a quarterback now. So that's going to be interesting. Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Raiders could be someone that might be interested in the services of Jimmy Garoppolo. And why is that? Mike McDaniel. I believe the GM that they hired to replace, right? They hired Mike McDaniel, and I believe the guy that they replaced Mayock with was also a Patriots front office guy. So I could see and they're not in our division; they're in the AFC. I could see a scenario where, let's say, they just want to move on from Derek Carr. They don't want to. They want a new start, fresh start, just off from Derek Carr. Even though Derek Carr and Jimmy have a lot of parallels, Josh McDaniels obviously knows who Jimmy Garoppolo is, knows what he's about, knows what he's capable of, could help implement a culture, could help implement a scheme. I'm just saying, Raiders could be a good fit. Raiders could be a sneaky good fit. Sneaky good fit. Again, new coach, new GM from the Belichick tree. We just got done talking about how people from the Patriots organization view Jimmy Garoppolo, and they love Jimmy. Jimmy could come in, set the tone for a locker room, set the tone for a scheme. Now, it could be a bridge. Could be a bridge for the next guy. Just saying. Raiders, sneaky good fit. New stadium, new facilities, hell. And again, coaching staff matters. Maybe Jimmy would waive his no trade to go to the Raiders to reunite with McDaniel, a guy that he knows and probably trusts. So that could be a fit. Someone say Browns. I think someone said Browns. Dylan said Browns might want Jim. That might be true, but I can't see Jim wanting the Browns. So when we get back to the no trade clause, I couldn't see any player like going out of their way to go play for the Browns unless they just got ridiculous amounts of money. I just don't see that. Ooh, I like that too, Josh. What if Jimmy goes to the Raiders? 49ers get Marcus to back up Trey? Ooh. I would love that. I would love that. I love Marcus. Big Marcus Mariota fan. He doesn't have a trade clause. That's right. He doesn't. No trade clause ends when the season is over. That's right. That's right. I'm stuck in the trade clause. So no trade clause, right? 49ers can. But to be honest, right? Okay. All right. Logging it. Thank you. Shout out to chat. Logging it. No trade clause. No trade clause. Jay SD Brad, us day twos, love you too. Don't forget, bro. But okay, maybe no trade clause, right? No trade clause. They say trade clause expires March 16th. I still imagine the 49ers are going to not trade Jimmy to the Browns. I imagine they will have at least it. I would be shocked if the 49ers traded Jimmy somewhere he didn't want to be traded at this point. He can go anywhere, but I don't think he will go anywhere. I think the 49ers front office has to make a moral decision to be able to trade him somewhere that he actually agrees to, would want to go to. I think that would be a something, just one of those things, right? Like there's some opportunities that will come up in your life where, hey, you can get a lot by maybe doing a little bit something shady, or just do right. Just do right by the situation. Make sure he's happy with where he's going. I imagine that's going to be the case. Maybe the Atlanta Falcons, but same situation. Does he want to go to the Atlanta Falcons? Even though there's no trade clause, does he want to go? I don't know. Falcons could be a spot, potentially, if they move on from Matt Ryan. Justin says Jimmy and Kinlaw to Broncos for Sutton and a fifth. Oh, boy. Could you imagine the 49ers trotting out uh, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Cortland Sutton. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Cortland Sutton. Um, that would be a crazy wide receiver core. But that's a lot. I think Jimmy plus Kinlaw, you'd be trading Kinlaw at his lowest value. And that's not something that I personally would do at this point. I wouldn't want to trade a guy that I invested a first round pick at his absolute lowest value. If I did have plans to trade Javon Kinlaw, first he has to prove to other teams that one, he's healthy, and then two, you have to get some value for him. You can't just throw him in the garbage. So Kinlaw is probably not going to get traded based on what they spent to get. Again, that's Buckner. we can either preface it in the context of, okay, well, Javon Kinlaw was a first round pick. In reality, Javon Kinlaw is Buckner. So it would be a big hit to a value standpoint, a perception standpoint, good or bad business standpoint if you were to get rid of Javon Kinlaw for not a lot. So I think it would do them more justice to try to get something out of Kinlaw before they make a move. Because, like I said, who's trading for Kinlaw? I don't know. Ellis says, Brad, 1 to 10, how confident are you that Kinlaw will stay healthy for 2020? Right now, I'm about a 5. From my understanding of the injury, I think it's knee tendonitis. Feels like a injury that will always be there, and it's more of an injury that you have to manage. So, and he's a big guy. He's a monster. And when the joints start breaking down on you, the knees start going. That's a lot of weight on those body parts. That dude's so big. So I don't know. I don't know enough, to fully be able to understand what the injury is. But you gotta get something out of him. Got to get something out of him. I'm not talking about trade compensation. We got to see him be available. Because if he can be available, he's going to be an impact player. Might not be from a statistical standpoint, which a lot of people, when they evaluate defensive line play, they want to look and see that. But if there's anything that I've noticed from Javon Kinlaw when he's healthy, you can't block him with one guy. And that's a huge reason why the 49ers wanted him, especially in the run game as a run defender. When you can have your linebackers free flowing with Fred Warner, Azeez Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw, and they can go sideline to sideline without offensive linemen getting to the second level because they're stuck on Kinlaw and Kinlaw's occupying 2 blockers, that's a win. That should be like, there should be a stat that says, oh, if 2 people have to block you, that's a positive play for a defensive tackle. If they can't get to backer, that's a huge win. That's a huge win because then linebackers can fill gaps, fill holes, sideline to sideline. They can do it. So that's why Javon Kinlaw is important, but need to get him back. Other teams that maybe Javon Kinlaw could potentially, or not Javon Kinlaw, Jimmy Garoppolo could go. Dude, what if what if Jimmy Garoppolo, like, let's say Russell Wilson goes to the Broncos or something. Let's say Russ goes somewhere else. And then the Seattle Seahawks have an opening at quarterback. How would you feel? if Jimmy Garoppolo, let's say we traded him in division. Well, how would you feel about that? Like, what if Jimmy Garoppolo was a Seahawk? How would you feel about that? We got to pull the chat on that one. Got to pull the chat on that one. How would you feel to see Jimmy Ward 2 times a year wearing that lime green, like dog water blue, no Russ? See him 2 times a year. That would be wild. Oh, you got. Oh man. Some wouldn't like it. Some would like it. Oh my goodness. That would be wild. That would be wild to look up, see Jimmy Garoppolo on the other side wearing that disgusting Seattle Seahawks uniform. That would be crazy. That would be good. Did I say Jimmy Ward? If I did, I apologize. Did I say Jimmy Ward? Um, if I did, that's not what I meant. Keep Jimmy Ward. we're not setting Jimmy Ward to the Seattle Seahawks. Hell no. Hell no. But hey, so some wouldn't mind, some would be absolutely opposed to it. Some wouldn't mind, some are absolutely opposed to it, wouldn't want to see it, hurt their hearts too much. Some others might like it. So I don't know. What do you guys think about the New York Giants? Could the New York Giants be a fit for Jimmy Garoppolo? Maybe they're not sold on Daniel Jones. Maybe, bringing in a guy like Jimmy to help, mold, maybe tutor, kind of guide Daniel Jones for the New York Giants. Maybe that could be a fit. Who knows? Again, one of the things that you can use as a selling point with Jimmy Garoppolo is, hey, this dude did a great job mentoring a guy who came in to replace him. So, hey, if you need mentorship and leadership, might not be a better quarterback out there than Jimmy Garoppolo that's available. Just saying. Just saying. And that could give Daniel Jones a second to breathe. Clearly, he's been destroyed in that organization and the coaching staff that they've had. Maybe it would give him a breather, recalibrate, get it together, come back out, watch Jimmy do it from a leadership standpoint. Could be a spot. Sheep says Jimmy will tell new team all 49ers offensive plays. Yeah, but that happens all the time with any team, any players. There's always a little bit of sharing of information, and that's just something that you have to overcome. I don't think that will be a big deal. Let's see what other teams could be a potential spot. I mean, there's we talked about the Saints, but they got a new they're going to have a new coach now, no Sean Payton. Bit of a cap hell from my understanding. Ooh, Colts. Good call. Colts. But to be honest, the Colts, they kind of already have, like, Carson Wentz is kind of like Jimmy a little bit. But I would even say Carson Wentz has more athletic upside than Carson. But I don't know. That could be viewed as a wash. And to be honest, they probably don't do that. They probably don't do that because of what they had to give up for Carson. So I would imagine that the Colts probably stick with Wentz at least one more year, maybe draft a guy in the second, third round. Um, who knows? Ooh, Chicago. We haven't mentioned the Bears. We haven't mentioned the Bears. Ooh, I don't know anything about their head coach that they just hired. But I did watch a clip, and he's an offensive line guy. I like that. He talked about how the biggest thing and that the Bears need to fix is the offensive line. And he's like, "Well, I'm an offensive line guy, so I'm going to take a lot of pride in that position." I was like, "I like that. I like that. You got to protect the quarterback, right?" So we'll see. Texans could be a fit. Again, bridge quarterback Davis Mills is there. Casario did draft Jimmy Garoppolo when he was with the Patriots, so there is familiarity there. Again, I'm kind of liking the Raiders. Kind of liking the Raiders as a trade destination. I kind of do. I kind of like that. And who knows? Hey, we saw what happened when Arden Key came over from the Raiders to the 49ers. Had a breakout year. Maybe there's more talent on the Raiders that's untapped that we could actually get for cheap and rehabilitate their career because they're not with a poverty franchise anymore. Jay says, "Can we trade McGlinchey and have you sign for the vet minimum and play right tackle?" I saw your college film. You were like a prime Joe Thomas. That's a lie. Quit gassing me up, Jay. Jay's just gassing the boy up right now. I will be 150% crystally clear honest. Mike McGlinchey is substantially better than I am. Substantially, especially at tackle. Especially at tackle. Yeah, throw me in at center for a couple plays. Maybe. Maybe. You want to send me to pull? I love to pull. You know what? You know what's funny though, on some real? I know why I love Brunskill so much because Brunskill reminds me of me. Being an undersized offensive lineman, someone who's really quick, fast first step, had the explosiveness, loved to pull, loved to get to second level. Um, I had that realization the other day. I was like, you know what? I think I love Brunskill, like genuinely, like love Brunskill because I think he reminds me of me. He reminds me of, the underdog, the smaller guy out there doing the work with all the big dogs. So shout out Jay though. And no, I don't want to trade Mike, man. I don't want to trade Mike. We got to see what Mike does, man. Oh, I think this is underrated. I was actually thinking about this today. So shout out Bubba for bringing it up. I was thinking about this today. Because if Alex Mack retires, okay, that is a possibility. And we know that's going to be a huge loss. It's going to be a huge loss. But Brunskill, although he struggled due to lack of experience last year in 2020 playing at center, I think him being able to play an entire year at right guard and only playing right guard, and then on top of only playing right guard, but playing next to Alex Mack for an entire season, guards and centers, they got to work together. They have to work together. And so that Alex Mack helped elevate the game of Daniel Brunskill. And I think that is actually a possibility. Because one of the things that I will always come back to and I will never forget and I will never let it go on the second day of padded practice at training camp. Never forget this. It was the media showcase. All the media came out. It was NFL Network, former coaches. It was a media day. It was a media day at training camp last year. This was the second day of padded practice. This was on the back of the first day where Trey Lance looked like the best player on the field. The second day, they took Brunskill and he played second string center with Trey Lance for that entire day. And the second team unit took off even more with Brunskill at center with Trey Lance. And after that day, Brunskill never took another snap at center. But that day, that second day of padded practice, Brunskill took only snaps with second team center. And he did good. And he did well. And I was like, something's going on there. Something's going on there. But I do like that. I do like that. If Mac does retire, and I think Brunskill fits best at guard. I actually think Brunskill probably fits best at tackle, to be honest. I think Brunskill, if you took Brunskill, that's what makes Brunskill so valuable, man. That's what makes Brunskill so valuable is his ability to play center, guard, and tackle. Honestly think that Brunskill probably best position is tackle because of his movement skills. He's technically driven, can play on an island. When you're a tackle, you're dealing with less bull rush. You'd still deal with bull rush, but you're dealing with more speed. You're dealing more outside speed. You're dealing with more inside counter speed. You're dealing with more speed to power. So I think Brunskill matches up well with speed. I think that's why Brunskill plays against Aaron Donald well, is because he matches well with speed. So, God, if the 49ers can keep Brunskill somehow, and if that does happen and they have to move him to center, I would be all for that. But like I said, I do believe his best spot would be tackle. I really do believe that. I think if you had to ask Brunskill too, he might say tackle as well. I just think he fits playing tackle the best, based on his attributes, but needing him to be that kind of do-it-all piece, he's found a spot at guard. I hope he doesn't go anywhere. I love Brunny. Shout out. Hit that like button. We can get to at least 100. We could at least get to 100. Let's get to 100. I'm not giving you the huddle account. Hey, it's out there somewhere on the interwebs. My film is out there on the interwebs somewhere. From when I was playing at DVC, before I went to Western. It's out there. I'm not showing it to you. And trust me, man, it wasn't. I don't think it was that great. I wasn't. I tagged my. So again, I pull a lot of personal experience when I evaluate. I was a developmental guy. I was a smaller guy. I was like a Brunskill. I was, a guy fighting and clawing. I was a guy who had to really fight to develop myself. And I watched myself over a year go from actually kind of ass to then actually pretty damn good, and it just kept progressing. So that's why I'm such a huge developmental guy. because I experienced it. I lived it. I lived it. I lived it getting my ass whooped. Like, I'm being 100% honest. Yes, DVC boys. You know the vibes. Let's go. You know the vibes. Squad. You know, we rocking number 55. Let's go. Let's go. DVC squad. But no, man, I played against D1. I played against D1 prospects every day in practice. Our front seven was dangerous. Like, dangerous. We had preseason All-Americans. My left tackle that I played with actually played for the 49ers. He as DVC, if you guys don't know about California community college football, when you're at that top tier of California community college football, San Francisco City College, San Mateo, Butte, where Aaron Rodgers came from, um, when you're at that top tier, there's a lot of talent in those community colleges because all it is just guys who are bad at school. All it is guys who just don't like really click well with school, couldn't get the grades and or made bad decisions, but they were ballers. They were just had to play at a lower level. Yep, I played against Sierra as well. I had to go up to Rockland and play at Sierra, and it's 125 degrees on the field. Unbelievable. Yeah, Ayuk went to Sierra College. First, oh my God, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget standing on the turf, and it felt like my feet were on fire. I'll never forget that. Like, I'll never forget that. Um, but there's so much good talent. There's so much good talent at that level. You know, the Buttes, Sierras, DVC, whatever. Like, so we had so much talent. We literally had, I think we had over my year, I think we had over 40 scholarships, 40 or 50 scholarships. Like, we had special teamers getting schollies. Like, it's just like when you're at that level, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot different than, the lower level, like, you know, not taking shots, but like American River or like what there, there's a bunch. But yeah, man, I got to go up against D1 boys. Um, I got to go against D1 boys every day in practice. The defensive tackle that I got to go against every day, dude would bark at me, bruh. I imagine, imagine sitting, like, getting in the huddle, and like the reason why I was so high on Aaron Donald coming out of Pittsburgh when everyone called Aaron Donald a bust because of his height and his size. I was like, dude, I played against Aaron Donald in at DVC, man. The guy that I was playing against was a D1 athlete, should have been a D1 starter, but again, hey, not good at school sometimes. So you're not good at school, but like you're a great football player. Oh yeah, shout out Foothill College. Foothill College is in that. Um, but he was built just like Aaron. Speed, quickness, short, stocky, but his arms were like this big. Like, that dude would put me on my face every day when I was a freshman. He put me on the push pull. Oh my goodness. The push pull is my worst enemy. Just using my own leverage against me. That's why I'm so big on leverage, because it happened to me for an entire year. But what I will say is that built me and put me into a position that when I came into my sophomore year, oh, it was on. That mother he couldn't do that to me anymore. Could not do that to me anymore. Then I was beating him. And then our battles became epic. So that's why I'm so big on development. I'm so big on development. Um, I'm so big on it. So just because they look like something now doesn't mean that's what they are or who they will be. You guys, son of a gun, don't find my tape. It's not good. It's not good. Don't watch it. It's not good. Oh my gosh. You guys are embarrassing me. Oh, you guys are embarrassing me. Look, I'm all red. Look how red I am. I'm like a cherry tomato. Yeah. Damn it, guys. Um, Sheep says 2022. How many picks do Niners still have? I hate you guys. Oh. Oh my goodness. You guys. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me right now. No, we're not. We're going somewhere else. We're not talking about this. No. Look at how gosh, guys. I'm no. No, don't look. Oh goodness. 2022. How many picks do the Niners still have? Great question. Let me find out so I can talk about something else. How many draft draft picks do the 49ers have? Let's see. The 49ers have 8 picks, right? 49ers have 8 picks. They have a second round pick, which is 61 overall. Yeah. They have the 61st. Actually, I'll just pull it up. Hold on one sec. One second. All right, so here are our picks as we start to move forward. All right. None of you are allowed to watch my tape. Damn you guys. Don't tell him, Joey. Joey's blowing up the spot. Joey's Joey's blowing up the spot. Damn it. 49ers. Here's the compensation. Damn it. Or not the compensation, the draft picks. 49ers have second round, 61 overall. Their third rounder is 93 overall. So right now, only 2 picks in the top 100s. Okay. Sorry. There we go. Sheep says 61 WTF. Oops, where did it go? It's just like a third round pick. Yeah, I mean it's not, we were one of the last 4 teams in the dance. So it's almost a first rounder, or I'm sorry, third rounder. So second round pick is 61, third round is 93. We have the 130th overall, 170th overall, 186th. Then we got 3 7-round draft picks. So, the 49ers would do them well to move up and trade into the draft. You guys are wild. Oh my god, you guys are ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous. You know that? Yes, I was sourdough tomato. Only you guys. No, that's not true. I turn into tomato quite a bit. God, you guys are the. Oh God, hell no. God, we are not, because I'm gonna roast myself. That film is not. That is not my best film. So I hate you guys. Yes, sir. 4.9. Hey, I told you, man. I was fast. That's fast for an offensive lineman. I told you I was fast, man. I was fast. All right. That was one of my redeeming qualities. 7'3", three-cone drill, 4.4 short shuttle. Your boy knew how to move. That's why I liked pulling, man. That's why I like pulling. I'd pull down that line so fast and just rock dudes because I was just moving. I wasn't a big guy. You guys are crazy. Yep. I'm about to add the tomato emoji to the mix. Hey man, I'm saying the grainy ass '09 film doesn't do it justice. Exactly, bro. I had the old Revo. I had the old Revo. My pads were probably about 2 sizes too big. I thought it was, like, cool to wear big pads back then. Um, yeah, it wasn't cool. It was cool it would've been a lot better if I had slimmer pads. Uh, let's go. "See me, bruh. See me." He says Raymar says, "Brad, let's do a 1v1. Imma pancake you." Sourdough tomato squad, let's go. No, do not put the link in Twitch. No one do that. Don't do that. This says Brad Graham of Island Boy Productions presents. Damn, this is now y'all just roasting me at this point. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yeah, dude, this is hilarious, man. This is hilarious. I'm having a good time. I want the smoke, bro. See me. Hey, that pass set, I talk about it all the time. It took me an entire year to learn how to pass set properly, but that thing's still with me. I can still pass set like a mother. Let's go. Your boy still hey, it was hilarious, bro. Like I was at the I was at the Senior Bowl. Oh yeah, I could move, man. When I was at the Senior Bowl, I got onto the field and everyone had left and I had just, I hung around, I was on the field. I started getting into my old stances, bro. I started doing like old like zone step techniques, bro. It took me back. You put me on that field, man. I feel like I'm about to strap it up. I feel like we all island boys. My goodness, this stream definitely took a turn. This stream took a turn. Oh my goodness. Yes. I was crying. Oh my god, I was in tears, bro. That's how you know, like, I gotta be doing I gotta be talking about football for my life. Like, it would just I can't I used to be a project manager. I used to be account executive for like a big, design, fabrication, marketing firm. Uh, I was good at it, but wasn't the vibe, man. Wasn't my vibe. Gotta be about football. 3-step drop? Oh, bro. No one could get past me if it was a 3-step drop because I'm shooting at you. I'm not necessarily dropping back into a pass set. Rather, it's almost like it's like a run action. If it's a 3-step drop, I'm actually gonna step at you and I'm gonna punch you, rather than you just sitting back and waiting for you to hit me with the move. So, hey, 3-step drop. I'm coming at your neck, bro. uh JC says in the run game, Brad came off the ball hella fast, man. For real, SDS undefeated. Joey says, love this stream for real. My bad for blowing up the spot. It's all good. It was already happening. It was already happening. The spot was already getting blown up. The second someone said Brad's tape, it was over. And then someone said they had found it. Oh, it was over. I knew it was coming. My goodness. But hey, it is what it is. My goodness. Send it to Baldy. He'd probably be like, this dude's a joke. Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I appreciate that. We've spent like the last 20 minutes uh just what the hell is that? Oh man. Uh I agree. Uh Name a better fan base than the SDS. You're gonna be waiting for a long time, my guy. Hey, I appreciate that, Jay. Go crazy. He says every day at work, I listen to your podcast. I enjoy these, bro. I appreciate that, man. You got to be able to laugh at yourself, dude. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. you got to be. You have to. You can't. You can't be too serious doing this kind of stuff, man. Like, just can't. Just can't. Especially when you guys get a hold of my old ass film. Oh, my old ass film, dude. Not the best. What's really sad is I don't have my film from when I went to the D2 that I want to play at. Again, I felt like I could have went. I felt like I was a developmental guy, so again, I was kind of behind the eight ball, but I felt like I got myself to a point where I could absolutely play D1 ball. But again, I didn't have grades either. I didn't have grades either. You got to have grades to play football. So, hey. And if you have ADHD, it's an uphill battle. So, good luck to you. Oh, my goodness. It was fun, though. I had a blast. Playing football is one of my favorite things. Clearly, it was my favorite thing I ever done in my life. That's why I'm talking about it right now. That's why we're here. As I can't, it's a drug that I cannot quit. That's the JUCO bandits, baby. Don't come around here slandering JUCO kids. Brandon Ayuk, again, we talked about Brandon Ayuk, JUCO kid out of Sierra College, up in Rockland. Javon Kinlaw is a JUCO kid. Multiple guys. In the end, a lot of guys like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers out of Butte. So hey, don't sleep just because they're at community college. Like that's what I'm like. I think clearly playing in community college gave me a perspective. Um, but there's so much talent like in community college. Just because you're a good football player doesn't mean you're automatically good at school, know how to balance the school football life. We know a lot of guys just grind football and not have the understanding that, well, you need the school too. And you have to have both to be able to keep moving forward. Yeah, Josh Allen went to a JUCO. So two of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now are JUCO kids. So JUCO it's about development, right? A lot of it's about development. A lot of it's about being discovered. Cam Newton was a JUCO kid. A lot of it's just an opportunity. And sometimes when you don't have grades, you don't get the D1 opportunities. Even though you're capable, you just don't get those opportunities. So just because you're a JUCO kid, and I try to tell that to anyone who like thinks about playing and has doubts about playing, it's like just go. Like if you can play football and have the opportunity to play football, especially at a JUCO, do it. Because I've seen a lot of guys who don't think they're much, decide to play and get scholarships. So that would be my advice to anyone. If I don't know how many high school kids we got in here, but if you're a high school kid and you're not getting offers and you don't really know what to do, dude, JUCO is a fantastic route. Fantastic route. You'll develop at a little bit better pace. And then when you do get the offers, which you will, you'll be ready to go the second you step in the building. I think that was one of the coolest things about when I went to the D2 when I got a Scully. Um, I stepped in and I was ready. Like instantly ready. I knew I had a great offensive line coach at DVC, taught me all the technique that I still carry with me and talk about offensive line today. Um, I was able to walk right in and earn that starting spot right away. So lots of positives. Oh, Dylan's a high school kid. Hey, if you ball Dylan, where's your huddle tape? Where's Dylan's huddle tape? Now it's time to pull up the chat's tape. Okay, now it's your turn. Now the chat needs to drop huddle links. Now the chat needs to drop huddle links, and we're gonna start breaking down the sourdough squad tape. Let's go. Drop it, Dylan. Oh goodness. That would be fun though. That would be fun. If we had a bunch of, sourdough squad high school kids and they just drop the tape and what we just go down the list and just evaluate each member of the sourdough squad. Oh, I think I found it. I think I found it, Dylan. I think I found your tape, boy. Let's go. We pulling it up. My guy out of I don't want to blow up the spot too much. My guy Waterloo. Okay, Dylan. Dylan is quarterback slash cornerback. Okay. Does that sound about right? We see you. We see you. I'm not. I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't gonna flash on him like that, but I thought that was funny. I found his huddle. We're just gonna pull up everyone's tape. The live is off the rails. If you came here for quarterback talk, if you came here for free agency talk, if you came here for rumors and speculation, you're not gonna get that. It is just pure, unfiltered nonsense at this point. But it's beautiful. It's fun, man. That would be an hilarious time. Everyone just comes in and drops their huddle links and we just break it down. Let's go. We see you QB1. We see you. Let's go. Love it. Hey, I love it. And that would be also too my biggest advice to anyone who is playing college football or playing high school football. Do whatever you can to continue your career. Even if it means like, hey, even if you don't go to the NFL, like playing football, man, is such a great experience. You learn so much. EMA says, "Yo, Brad, what do you think about the Embry fire? They don't correlate, but with Brian Flores' class action, could be dealing with some heat. Also, did you hear about Nick B news?" Uh, I don't know what the Nick B news is. I don't know what the Nick B news is. I don't. I don't think the Embry thing it has a correlation to racism. I know that was kind of mentioned in the Salt McGee. I don't have not so I'm not speaking from a place of knowledge. Um but I don't think that's the case. I think Embry and I know this from Kittle, people in Kittle's camp that I have close ties to. There's uh, there might not be a coach that Kittle respects more than Embry. Um, and also too, if you look across the entire staff of the 49ers, it's a really good mix. it's a really good mix of, it's a multi-diverse staff. So it's not like it's just a bunch of good old boys, old white guys, just running the show. Like, it's a good mix, I would say. Um, but again, I'm not speaking from a place of knowledge. I don't think there's a correlation. Um, I just think there's other things at play. Um, I think there's other things at play, much more so than that. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's actual football issues that are being tied up into that mix. Um, and is there actually news about Nick Bosa, or is it just people are talking about Nick Bosa? Uh, like, are we still talking about the peeing thing? Is that what you're asking about? I need clarification on that. Um, I need clarification on that because I haven't seen any news about it. Uh, I think that's what I'm asking. Is that an actual issue? Like, is there like news? Someone on Grant's show is trying to get Bosa charged for being a sex offender. What? Why? W- Why? Why would you want to get him charged as a sex offender? Because the dude had to take a piss and just unfortunately went into a spot where he thought he was covered and happened to have his back to a school. Is that a real thing? Like, that's real? Like, it's not like, oh, you lock him up, throw away the key. Like, it's a real, like, this man needs to be. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, I don't know. I don't. Shout out Grant. I don't watch a show, so I I don't know. I don't know. So I'm not speaking from a like. I'm finding this information out from you guys. I guess if I have to have a take on it, um, I didn't see anything that was deliberate. I didn't see anything that was going. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Going out of his way to like, hey, sometimes you gotta pee. Um, should Kyle Juszczyk get arrested because he had to pee in the middle of a game against the Rams? Should does Kyle Juszczyk get arrested then? Because I'm sure there's kids in the stands. I'm sure there were kids behind Kyle Juszczyk peeing. Like, I know this is a big might be a big shocker to some people, but sometimes you have to go to the bathroom when you're playing a sport, and sometimes you don't have the luxury of actually going to the bathroom. Sometimes you don't. Um, like I don't I mean, the optics of the high school kids like taking the picture, yeah, I get that's not great, but to press charges on someone and to go as far as saying a sex offender? I gotta go pee. Nick Bosa. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Hey, like I said, I don't watch Grant. Um, so I don't know what is going on. I don't know who this Sybilla person is. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the context. I don't know what she's really saying. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But we're all human. We all have to go pee sometimes. Hey, and when you're a football player and you're on a field, you know what? I'm gonna take Luke's advice. Shout out Luke. On to the next. I'm not gonna waste my breath on it. If you're really gonna bang your chest about something like that, um, it's probably a good thing that I don't know who that person is. Because that just feels like someone who wants. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna talk again. I don't know this person. I don't know this person. I didn't experience it myself, so I'm withdrawing. Withdrawing comment. I'm withdrawing comment. Shout out, Luke. Uh, Justin says, Brad, have you seen any more of Inagbre at the Senior Bowl? I just saw him completely violate that tight end. I saw him completely violate that tight end in that like 1v1 pass blocking drill. Because my goodness, I haven't seen a pancake like that in quite some time. From a defensive guy pancaking an offensive guy like that. Now I get it. I get it. Edge versus tight end. It's not necessarily an equal playing field. You know, it's not apples to apples. It's not a tackle versus an edge. It's a tight end versus an edge. But Inagbe violated that tight end, like drove him into and past the line of players watching the drill. Like it was insane. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Um, but my goodness, that was crazy. I haven't seen much more other than that particular play. I'm still trying to make my way through the tape. But he looks like a dog already. I mean, that one play alone tells me exactly who he is from a mentality standpoint. And I like it. I like it a lot. Um, Vish says, dude, I hope 49ers Scout watch your show. We need a lineman on the right side, and you got the scout thing down. I know for a fact. I know for a fact that 49er Scouts know who I am. I know for a fact that 49er Scouts know who I am. And that to me is wild. I made a joke, about like, hey, 49ers should hire me to be their offensive line coach. Like, 49ers not going to hire me to be their offensive line coach. I don't think I want to be their offensive line coach. I'm not qualified to be an offensive line coach. But I sure as hell know how to evaluate offensive line. No, it was super cool. When I was at the Senior Bowl last year, I somehow got onto the NFL personnel side. So I was actually with the scouts and the general managers and the coaches. They split the stadium down the middle. Media was on one side of the stadium. Pro personnel was on the other side. I somehow got into the pro personnel side. And that was actually when I was like walking by John Lynch. He was like literally 2 feet from me. And I walked past him a couple times. But I was in work mode. Like I was doing lives from the Senior Bowl. I had my nice DSLR camera. I was moving everywhere. I was going from side to side, getting shots, getting content, doing everything. And I remember I walked. So the 49ers, they were kind of in between the seats and like the standing area. And John Lynch was on the other side of the standing area. And it looked like he probably had his head scout. Adam Peters was there. A bunch of other scouts wearing all their 49ers gear. They're all standing like they started. Some went down to the seats. Some were on the other side of the standing area. But I had to walk through them to get to where I was going. And when I was walking through them, one of the 49ers guy was like, hey, that guy runs a 49ers account. And I just like kept walking, but I heard it. And I was like, because also I wasn't supposed to be over there. So I didn't want anyone to recognize me. Like I wasn't supposed to be on that side. I didn't know that until later. Because I'd never been to the Senior Bowl. They let me in, and so I was vibing. Um, but when I walked by, like John Lynch was literally he was like two guys over from John Lynch, and I walked by, and all I hear is, "Hey, that guy runs a 49ers account." I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking," because John Lynch was talking to the executive director Jim Nagy of the Senior Bowl, and I wasn't trying to get my spot blown up, and I was just like, "Oh, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking." But I totally overheard him say that he recognized me. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was a year ago. Um, so we'll see. I would love I would love to evaluate for a living. It's pretty much what I do anyways. Um, but I think I found a nice little niche here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I think we got a nice thing going. I think we got a nice thing going. Plus, we're gonna have the sourdough scouts. We got the we're gonna have the sourdough scouts. We're gonna educate the sourdough squad on how to scout, what to look for, why we scout, what we scout, and guess what? It's gonna make you guys smarter football fans. The hell's that? Um, um, but yeah, that was crazy. Great experience. Um, but this we what do we've like it's been a half an hour that we've been off the rails, I think at this point. I think it's been about half an hour. Let's go. SDS scouts in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Um we're so um I'll be able to get all 22 of the Senior Bowl. So I'm absolutely going to set up live film breakdowns of evaluating players at the Senior Bowl. So I want to evaluate all of it first. If that makes sense. I want to watch everything. I want to watch all 3 days of practice. I want to watch the game. I want to develop my scouting reports on the guys based on that body of work. And then we can break it down. And again, pull clips, show examples, show correlation, show traits, tangibles, things like that. So that's going to be on the docket coming up. Yeah, you can watch this. Oop. No, Game Pass got rid of film. Game Pass got rid of film. They've been broadcasting every day on ESPN2. So you can watch the Senior Bowl broadcast on ESPN2 and do all that good stuff. But yeah, scouting's fun, man. Scouting's fun. It's a blast. Like it makes me love football so much more. Again, one of my favorites is George Kittle. Identifying George Kittle out of Iowa, and being able to project that even though he didn't have production as a receiver, that didn't mean he didn't have the skill set. And that's one of my favorite things about the George Kittle progression is that he was a blocking tight end. Like some even called him a fullback in some instances. They didn't see the upside from him as a receiver because he didn't have the production. And that's again why you can't solely rely on looking at a box like a box score and being like, oh well, he didn't He didn't put up that much production. He must not be good. It's like, no, that just might be a function of the scheme, might be a function of the quarterback. What you have to do with the scouting process is identify all the traits, what they can and can't do, and then project that out. And that's why I love George Kittle's process. He's my shining star of my draft process because he turned into an elite player. And I viewed him that way, but he wasn't regarded that way. He was a fifth round pick for a reason. So that's what makes the scouting process so much fun. And we're absolutely going to get into a lot more, especially as we're transitioning off of the NFC Championship and all that kind of stuff. So I'm slowly getting pulled back. I'm in the middle of the process of dealing with, okay, I'm not talking about 49ers football every single day. Now I'm going to transition towards the draft. So I'm in a transition, but in about a week or two, we're going to be 100% draft, 100% free agent, 100% smoke season. It's going to be picking up here pretty soon. It is going to be picking up here pretty soon. I know that guy that you're talking about. I don't know his name, but he's a vibe. Actually, I might. Let's end it on a quick clip, right? Why not? Let's end it on a quick clip since you brought him up, and it was something that I loved to see from him. I got to be able to find it first. But if I can find it really quickly, I will pull it up. But that guy from Georgia, I think I know who you're talking about again. There's a couple guys from Georgia. I don't necessarily. Oh, here it is. It's right here. Here's a big boy. All right. This might be it. This might be the guy you're talking about. We'll see. Let me get it pulled up here. And so we got two clips back to back. Two clips back to back. Okay, let's see if this is the guy. Is this him? I don't even know his name. But this might be the guy that you're talking about. I think this is the guy you're talking about. But we got two plays back to back from him in 1v1 pass blocking situation against. Yep, it is perfect. Let's watch these two reps back to back. He does a pretty damn good job. Look at that. Is able to anchor, stay in front, move the feet, keep the base active. That's still a win. Got to stay in front of them. Again, we talk about it all the time with Brunskill, right? People get on Brunskill's case for losing some ground, but you have to. You have to be able to be fluid enough. You're already moving backwards. You got to be able to resync and anchor. You see that's what he's doing right now. Creates contact, turns into a bull rush. You see both of his feet are literally off the ground. Let me get this out the way. But he's right here. Re-anchor, drops the hips, and stonewalls them. That's what it is. And that's why it's a win. Yeah, he got good push at first, but what is it about offensive line play? You got to be able to recover. Doesn't matter. You can get pushed off the line, but you got to be able to recover. You got to be able to sink those hips, anchor, and then look at the leverage that it's created. 92 got nothing. And you can see he keeps reworking his hands, getting him to that chest plate. I like it. I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him before. But I like this rep too. And what I like most about this rep is I like the celebration. Watch this. Watch a big boy. Yes, sir. Let's go. I love that. All right. I love that. Give me that dance again, big boy. Give me that dance again, big boy. Yeah, get it. Oh, I love it. I love it. Everyone's hyped too. Going against you know, SEC boy, Florida Gator. I like it, man. Again, you see the outside, his right foot setting up for, like, let's say it's going to be a pass pro to the right. He's setting up that way. 17 sets up as if he's going to the outside. Then you get the little hand move to the counter inside. He's got no problems with that. No problems with that. Is able to plant this foot in the ground. See that? Push off. Continue to stay between him and the quarterback. It's a good job, man. Thick boys. Let's go. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. These thick boys out here. Let's go. Thick boys doing a dance too. Hey, shout out this running back too, by the way. I like that rep. I like the hype too. I like the hype. It's fun, man. So I'm excited. Once I get the tape, I want to go through the tape. I want to pick out the prospects that I like. I've already got some prospects that I like. Zion Williams out of Boston College right now is currently my favorite player that I've watched, but I still have a lot more to watch. So I want to get through all the tape. 100%. I mean it. I mean it. So I want to get through the tape. Want to get through the tape, make all my notes, and then we'll consolidate them, and then we'll have some scouting sessions. I would say, realistically, probably next week will be a good week to like dive into the Senior Bowl tape, dive into like really get into the draft, start identifying prospects, identifying needs. So that's what I think I'm going to have on the docket. We're gonna start doing a lot more draft next week. Did I see your super chat? Probably not. Oh, there we go. Game film. I gotta connect. He goes by. I don't know. I don't want to blow the spot up. But I just have a connection. He sends me the tape. And that's how I get it. That's how I get it. So it's kind of like you gotta know someone. Tape all 22 is hard to come by these days. So this chat ain't sus. It's perfect. It's perfect. Real ones know. Real ones know. All right, it is getting a little sus, but it's all good. Oh, I think that's a good time. I think that's a good time to wrap it up. Somehow you guys kept me on here for 2 hours. We pretty much were off the rails for about 40 minutes. Off the rails for about 40 minutes, but I think it was a fun off the rails. I think it was a fun, just wild off-season episode. SDS all thick. My goodness. My goodness. I love you guys. I love you guys. You guys make this fun. I'm glad you guys had fun. Um, it was a good time. You guys got to roast me a little bit on my old playing days. I love you guys, man. You guys are the best. I appreciate you rocking with me. I don't even know how there's still 170 people in here. You guys deserve cookies, awards, medals for your service. For your service. So we do appreciate it. Exactly. We talked about my film more than we actually talked about what we were supposed to be talking about. I don't even think we wrapped a bow on it. We just kind of moved on. We just kind of moved on. My tape just completely took over the show apparently. And we just kind of moved on. It was just like, all right, I guess we're we're just gonna roast. Shout out you guys, man. I appreciate the sourdough squad. You know the vibes. We'll be back for a live tomorrow, um, and all that good stuff. But yeah, we got big time sidetracked, but it was fun. And I've realized sometimes when we get sidetracked, that's when we actually have the most fun and vibe the most. So it's all good. I love it. It was a great time. Appreciate all you guys. Uh, Stay tuned again all throughout the week. Smash that like button really quick if you haven't already. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Um, Hit that bell so you never miss a stream. This was fun, guys. I'm very happy. I'm glad you guys are all right. sourdough bread hats will be exclusively sold at Levi's. Hit that like. We see you. Appreciate you all. Y'all have a good rest of your night. Peace.